Welcome to TechLoveHate. I'm Craig Mason.
And I'm Tish Lindsay.
And we're here to help you with all of your tech needs.
And I'm here as always to translate the geek speak.
On this issue, we're going to be exclusively covering the PlayStation Move. We've talked about it briefly in the past, but now that we've had our hands on it, we're going to let you know what we think. Now, I've been playing with it for about 3 weeks now, and I've got a pretty good handle on it. Tish has played with it for the first time today. She spent about 3 hours playing it. Thought she spent about a half hour, I think. She was like, I can't believe what time it is. It just totally flew by. What are your initial impressions of the PlayStation Move?
It was a lot of fun and far more physical than I thought it was going to be. You actually move all parts of your body in all directions. So I think that it could probably be a really good workout for one.
Yeah, I can attest to that. My shoulders killing me. I think I've been playing it a little too much. Obviously, I've been using some, I think playing the archery game, reaching back behind me for an arrow. I don't think I've been using those muscles much because they really, really hurt. Definitely a good workout.
I don't know if I've ever used those muscles.
Yeah. Now, we have here the actual PS3 Move controllers. They're circular, tubular. They fit well in your hands. These balls here glow whenever they're connected to the PS3. You can have, I believe it's up to 7 controllers. It might be 8 at a time. I know it's at least 7. And each ball glows a different color so that the PS3 can tell them apart. So you can have a lot of people playing at the same time. And they've also got motion control inside them. So you've got motion control that tracks up, down, left, right, back, forth. And then you've got a camera on top of or below your TV that tracks the motion of the ball. So it's very precise, one-to-one motion. I was a little bit skeptical that it really would be one-to-one, but it is. I mean, when you reach back to get an arrow and pull it back, it's in real time. When you're playing volleyball, it's in real time. Table tennis, it's all happening one-to-one. Now, with the PlayStation Move kit, you get a controller, you get the PlayStation Eye camera, and you get Sports Champions, which is a bunch of sports games. Gladiator, table tennis,
Frisbee,
volleyball, and archery, and believe it or not, bocce ball, which is strangely addictive. It seems to me that the game you kept going back to is volleyball.
Yeah.
Was that your favorite, or?
I love volleyball, first of all. But the thing that I liked on the game was that the movements really were in real time. So it made me feel like I was really on the beach serving up those serves.
Indeed. When you've got the moves up here like this and you do a light tap, it taps the ball light. If you jump up and you slam, it's going to spike the ball. I mean, it's really one-to-one. And velocity and motion all together make it feel like you're really doing it. And like I mentioned earlier, when you reach back for an arrow, I mean, your mind just connects it that you're really doing it because you're seeing what's happening on the screen as you're doing it, and the mind fills in the rest. So it feels like you're really in the game.
Yeah.
Not like you're controlling the game, but
you're playing the game.
Yeah, in the game.
Yeah.
So that aspect of it takes it beyond the Wii, because the Wii, there just seems to be this separation that feels more like you're controlling a game, not actually playing in the game. Now, playing with the Move can take a bit of practice. Some games you'll pick up like that.
Yeah.
They just come naturally to you. Some do take a little bit of practice, a little bit of skill. Tish had a bit of an issue with the archery game. She had a bit trouble latching her arrow onto her bow, but once she got it down, she was shooting targets left and right.
Yeah, that was the hardest game, but it's also the most impressive because the movements are so sensitive that, I mean, you really are controlling that bow, which is why I was having such difficulty, like I would have in real life. So it was definitely the hardest game, but it showed you the how awesome a system it is, that it really does control your movements just like you're doing it in real life. So since I'm so uncoordinated, I had a lot of trouble, just like real life.
One thing I learned today about Tish, watching her play, is that she's extremely competitive. Learned this pretty quickly watching her play Gladiator. What were your impressions of the Sports Champions Gladiator section?
That's probably the most fun game ever, because it feels like you really are truly in the game. You have your shield, you have your sword, and your movements are exactly as you're doing just in real life. So you really feel like you are slicing people's necks and cutting their legs, and this is a family show, so I'll stop there. But let me just say, if you have even a teeny little bit of aggression in you, that's the game for you.
Another game that comes with the Sports Champions is bocce. Now, I would have never imagined that bocce would be one of my favorite games. But throwing these little balls on the screen is really, really fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I've never played bocce in real life, ever. And that was probably one of the, well, they're all a lot of fun, but that was really cool too, because again, it feels like you were truly there throwing that ball, and so you're in it just like you would be in real life. I keep saying that, but you have to experience it to know.
It's little things like when you flick your wrist, it puts a spin on the ball, so that when it lands, it curves a certain way. Or if you flick it this way, when it lands, it'll bounce back. Just little touches like that make it feel real.
Yeah.
Another game that comes with the package is table tennis. Kind of is what it is. It's fun. You're hitting a ball back and forth, and if you flick your wrist this way and the paddle is flat, you're going to miss the ball. I mean, it's like in real life. If you hit it like this, it'll put a spin on the ball. If you slam it hard, you're going to, well, you can hit your opponent in the face with the ball if you want.
Yeah. That was a really cool game too, because you really could tell that it was sensing your motion. So as fast as you were whipping your paddle, that's as fast as the ball was throwing. So you really got a good sense of it capturing your true movements, which was a lot of fun. It made table tennis a lot more exciting than it normally is on normal games. So I loved it.
And along those same lines, another one of the games is Frisbee golf. And it's the same thing. In real life, if you flick your wrist, you're gonna, and you flick your wrist at an angle, your Frisbee's gonna kind of glide off and curve, and it's the same on the game. If you don't have your controller flat, and it's gonna go off to where you don't want it to go. It feels pretty real. Even though, I mean, you're not actually throwing a disc, but in your mind it really seems like you are.
Absolutely. Yeah, what's so cool about it is I'm not like a really big, huge game person. But like Craig said, I seriously just played this game for 3 hours, had no idea. So, I mean, it really is a lot of fun. Even something as simple as Frisbee, it's tons and tons of fun. And I could see with having a whole bunch of different controllers and the whole family playing, you could just, oh my gosh, go crazy and be skinny, because it's a workout, really.
A few other games that we played that didn't come with the package, they're just extra downloadable games. Miniature golf, pretty cool. You're pointing the controller down like this and actually feel like you're golfing.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, she was. But I could tell she was having a lot of fun as she was stinking it up. I mean, first of all, the graphics are really pretty, and the golf courses themselves are kind of crazy. I mean, you're kind of at a pirate cove, and there's everything you can imagine as obstacles to get around. But it's really fun.
Yeah, addictive.
Another game that we tried out is called Tumble. It's pretty basic. I mean, you're stacking blocks. Right? Well, it's a little bit more than that. You get to blow blocks up, too. I mean, there's a game on the Wii called Boom Blocks. Extremely fun game. This is sort of like it, but the challenge is a bit harder. You've got obstacles that you've got to build your towers around and reach certain heights, and certain blocks have certain weights, and certain blocks have certain amounts of grip.
Yeah.
And you've got to take all these things into account when you're building your towers. And Tish couldn't quite leave this game alone.
It was a lot of fun. It's like Tetris on steroids. I mean, it's crazy. And again, I'm not somebody that spends a lot of time playing video games, but this one, for some reason, I think it's because it challenges you not only to think, how you're going to build the blocks, but it's so cool to control and maneuver the blocks. I mean, you can actually go inside of the screen, and it captures all of your movements as precise as my hands are moving right now. So that was probably the most addictive game, I think, of all of them. Tons of fun, but so frustrating because you just want to build those blocks and you think you know what to do in your head. And yeah, it was super fun.